Should have started.
Yo,
Should have started.
Hey, did you get that? Did you get
Yeah,
should have started. Hey, I'm leaving that in the video, bro. I'm leaving that
Yeah, well, I know. Or I need to send you.
Hey, where's my camera? Hey, Pete, yep. Hey, Pete. As soon as we said that, he said put me on game. That is-
Welcome into your favorite show, your favorite podcast, the Gumball Sports Machine podcast, the show in which we love, we laugh, we hug, we cry, we smile, and most importantly, we are positive. I'm your host, Jamal Gumo, aka Gumball, aka Mr. You Know Gumo, and of course, to my left, your right, is my OG, my dog, my unk, and the man we call the generalizer here on GSM, Triple OG. Tone, you looking fantastic. I love the glasses, brother. You looking great tonight. You looking sharp. How are you?
Little Sean Well. How you doing today, brother?
I'm absolutely fabulous. You know what I'm saying? Listen,
So
baseball's back, Tone. You know, and there's not many people that you're like, jumping for joy for that. You know, I know this baseball's not as popular.
You are.
Oh, brother. You know me, Tone. Baseball is number one.
See the hat. You can't
Now. Okay, I'll prepare, baby. But hey, listen. Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. You know what I'm saying? John Cena told me that.
Decide whether I had the Sox one over there. I was like World Series or GSM. I said we got time for the World Series. It's day one. We'll be back.
That's another great hat, by the way, Tone. It's another fantastic.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to flex. Let them know.
Fantastic.
All sports machine.
Oh yeah, and listen. I mentioned baseball. And now I get to cry every day instead of crying every other day with the Suns. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you're aware, but the D-backs got beat up pretty badly on opening day last night.
They lost to your favorite team, I believe.
Quite literally, my least favorite organization in all of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like there is, there's Tesla, and then there's like the Trump organization, and then there's the Los Angeles Dodgers. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of the list of things that I don't like. But my boys are getting ready to go here in a minute or two, so very, very excited about baseball season.
Redemption game,
huh?
Redemption game.
Well, I for it to be a redemption game, I think we have to have a chance to win. So you know what I mean. That's the only hard part. I look at the Dodgers and then I look at literally $1 billion. So that kind of hurts my heart. Maybe a little bit of an all-star team over there. The Dodgers have pretty good. A lot of money to spend.
Interesting. I was gonna say a lot of money.
Yeah, there's a lot of money. Tone, I think if we put our dollars together, we can go buy our own baseball team and
buy a shoelace.
That's true. Maybe like the end of the shoelace, the plastic part. Maybe that might be even worth like.
Can you imagine if the NBA had those type of rules?
Oh, the no salary cap.
Yeah.
Tone, why would you even put that image in my head?
I think that's a good conversation for a future pod right there.
Oh, that's a great conversation because I think after this season, I don't think we're gonna have a baseball season for that very reason. The MLBPA is gonna they don't want a salary cap, and other teams want a salary cap, and they're gonna clash like the Titans that they are. So, baseball's back, and it's happy, and it's glorious, and it's fantastic, and it's positive. So we got some basketball to talk. Okay, there's a lot of basketball going on. There's, of course, we got the pros, in which we're going to talk a lot about today, and then you got college. The Sweet 16 is going on as we speak. There were some games yesterday that went on. The team that I'm rooting for, I work in a very ASU heavy environment. I work and live in a very ASU heavy environment. But Tony, you know me. You got Arizona on your chest. I'm rooting for you. You know what I'm saying? That's home state. That's home team. So at U of A, you know, they everybody thought they were going to get a challenge. Obviously, you got Darius Acuff Jr., one of, if not the best player remaining in the tournament, depending on who you ask. He still had a good game. He had 28 points, shot 8 for 19 from the field. The problem is he can't do it by himself. And that was the thing that I was kind of telling everybody in terms of this game between Arizona and Arkansas was you are going to have to do either one of two things if you're Arizona. You're either going to have to let Darius Acuff Jr. get whatever he wants. I'm talking about, listen, let him work. Let him work. Hey, but you got to take everybody else away. You got to take everybody else away. Or you completely take Acuff away and force everybody else to beat you. And the option that Arizona took yesterday was they let Darius Acuff get what he wanted. Again, he had a very good game, but nobody came along with him. Pringle, they're big. He's coming off a hamstring injury. He barely moved, Tone. I mean, when I'm talking about he was limping up and down the court. He still made some ridiculous defensive plays, though, Tone. He's an athletic freak. Malik Thomas kind of disappeared. He's been averaging double digits the entire tournament. He kind of disappeared. And Tone, I look at Arizona. They shot almost 70% from the field. They shot 18 of 28 in the first half. They shot a ridiculous number from three. I think it was more than 60% from the field. I mean, Tone, when you look at a game like that, there's no way you can let a team shoot that high from the field, shoot that great of a percentage from the field, and think that you're going to win a game, especially when you go against a team like the University of Arizona.
Yeah, it's tough to beat consistency, man. And I like you said, man, they got one of the big names, man. I like the other guy. What's his name? Cole Pete.
Yeah,
I like that guy. He seems like he's got an NBA body.
Yep.
But it should be interesting, man. Going down to the wire, but shooting that well, man. Those are NBA numbers right there on a good day. Like those are good day NBA field goal percentages right there. That's not an average, man. That's based off of defense, man, and getting out and going.
Yeah, and Cole Pete he came out aggressive, Tone. Yesterday, he's one of, if not the best player on Arizona, and he came out aggressive yesterday. He had eight early points. He's getting to the basket. D'Lo and I were talking about on Tuesday that he's going to have to show his jump shot eventually. It wasn't yesterday. It wasn't yesterday. He got anything he wanted at the paint. He's a freight train going down there. Braden Burry's one of the best guards in college basketball right now. He's a freshman. He may very well come out and go into the NBA draft this year. He's that good. But it was a battle between him and Darius Acuff Jr. and Braden Burries came out on top. The other game that really kind of caught my attention yesterday, Tone, was Illinois and Houston. Number 2 seed Houston and number 3 seed Illinois. Illinois being, I think, the second best offense in the country, and Houston being the best defense in the country. And it was a battle of, okay, somebody's got to come out on top. Is it going to be the best offense? Is it going to be the best defense? Tone, the score at halftime was 24-22. So you can tell what kind of battle that was. It was a defensive battle.
Defense wins games, man.
That's the thing. And Houston, as well as they could play defensively, they couldn't keep up with Illinois offensively. They just couldn't. Keaton Wagler had a heck of a second half. He came out confident. He did not shoot the ball very well in the first half, but absolutely turned it on in the second half. He had a couple of huge clutch threes. But Houston, the team that was in the Final Four last year, they couldn't keep up. Again, Illinois' offense is prolific. They have Andre Stojakovic, Peja Stojakovic's son. It's funny, Tone, quite the opposite Andre Stojakovic is, because he can't shoot a lick, but he gets into the basket. He is a prolific finisher at the rim.
I won't be surprised if he gets a little better if he makes it to the league, though.
Absolutely. I mean, Tone, the league it's adapting, if it's not already adapted, to the 3-point game. And it's, mid-range, aside from, those prolific mid-range shooters, aside from the Kevin Durant's and the Kawhi Leonards and the DeMar DeRozans and the Devin Bookers and the Jason Tatums, like aside from those guys, it's a really 3 or you get to the basket type of game. And, Andre Stojakovic was able to get to the basket yesterday. So he did a very, very good job. Colin Boswell got in foul trouble early. He's not very good offensively, but he's one of their best defenders. And he was holding Fleming the whole game for Houston. Fleming, one of their best scorers. And Colin Boswell did a really good job on them. I mean, Tone, again, when you look at a matchup like this, especially at the college level, and, you like you said, defense wins games, but this time Illinois' offense was just a little bit better than the defense. When you look at a game like that, what is the key for, what was the key for them to really come out on top, aside from just the offensive output that they were able to put? I think they scored like 40 points in the second half.
Maturity shows, man. When you're able to keep your poise and maintain a level head in those type of situations, stay focused, knowing that they're a great offensive team, you just stick to the plan, stick to the script. And sooner or later, things will start rolling for you. And I will say that even in the NBA, there's times where your offense is your defense. If you're making the other team get the basketball out of the basket, then it slows down their pace, and you get to go back and set up your defense. You know what I'm saying? You get to catch your wins and stuff like that. And so, yeah, that's phenomenal for them. And I do think, they have the best offense, but they have a good defense as well. So, that helps as well. That helps out.
Yeah. Yeah. And they showed it yesterday. I mean, it's not like Houston is no slump, offensively. I mean, obviously they're the best defensive team in the league, but they have guys who could go score. They have, especially from last year, they have some of those returning players. And JoJo Togler, I believe his name was. And I think I could be mistaken. I think Fleming was also on that team last year. And another one of those, I can't remember his name, but he was also on that team that made it to the Final Four last year. So you talk about experience, and then Illinois, a lot of those guys were on this team last year too, and so a lot of foreign guys too, Tone. Texas and Purdue last night was a fantastic game, a tip in there close to the buzzer. Texas being the Cinderella, Tone, and as you know, we can only have so many Cinderellas now in the NIL age because all the best teams go and pay for their players. And it's hard for those 16, those 15, those 14 seeds to actually upset these 1, 2, 3, 4 seeds because of how much money that they've given these players, the top seeds that is. So yesterday, Texas losing to Purdue. Sean Miller, who's been a very, very good college basketball coach, he's former U of A coach. He did a great job with this team. They made a great run, but ran into Purdue, who made a play at the end of the game. And we've also talked about it, a few weeks ago. Purdue is experienced, and Tone, you mentioned maturity. March Madness. The more maturity you have, the more experience you have, I think the better suits you. And I think late down the stretch in the game yesterday, that experience really showed up. And I mean, Tone, how again, I know you kind of just talked about it. How invaluable is that experience? Especially coming down the stretch in the Sweet 16s and the Elite Eights.
I mean, when you've been there before, you're not shaking in your boots. You know what I'm saying? Your palms aren't sweaty. You ready to go. You got players who are ready to take that shot, ready to set that screen. They've seen everything before, and so they're well prepared. The crowd doesn't have them nervous. It's just maturity is everything in certain situations. That's why we talk about playoff experience in the A. And this is their playoff. But I didn't shed any tears, man. They sent Texas sent my guy home, man. AJ, man. So
yeah, they did. And AJ, boy, he had 35 in that game. He couldn't have done any more in that game. And Texas, once again, Sean Miller has done a great job with that basketball team. Now I know U of A fans probably don't like hearing that, but he did a great job with that basketball team this season specifically. So, and then Iowa, number 9, Iowa upsetted number 4 Nebraska yesterday. There was just a few really, really bad mishaps. Tone, I'm sure you saw it. There was a moment in the game, crucial down the stretch. It was a 3-point game, and Nebraska had 4 players on the court.
Yeah,
they had 4 players on the court, and then they gave up a 3 off of that possession.
M1, right? Got an M1 or something like that off that.
Yep. They lost 3 points, and again, in moments like that, Fred Hoiberg is a very, very good coach. But you cannot make mistakes like that in a moment like that. That is really, really bad. Now, maybe that's on the player. Fred Hoiberg, the coach, took responsibility for that after the game.
As he should. But that's on everybody, man. Head coach, assistant coach, the trainer. Somebody got to speak up.
Somebody had, because that's an inexcusable mistake.
I'm subbing myself. I'm running on the floor.
And that was the thing. I think somebody, whoever was off the court, was on the bench and then started sprinting on at the last second, and then by then it was too late.
Yeah,
and
one boy got to step up, man.
Man, listen, somebody's got to be thirsty on the court. You know what I'm saying? And somebody was thirsty for an N1. And well, that's what.
So my boy back home is loving that though. He went to Iowa State, man. My boy Will Blaylock.
Oh man, that's crazy. Both Iowa and Iowa State are in the Elite Eight. Yeah. Or no. I'm sorry. Iowa State plays in a few minutes here. So if they win tonight, if they beat Tennessee, which I mean, my bracket is already kind of busted anyways. But I have Tennessee in the Final Four. So I'd be really like Tennessee.
Yeah, they said that there's only one person with a bracket still at hand, and he's a kid. He's like a teenager.
Yeah, that's a perfect bracket. Yeah, Tone, you'd be like, I honestly, when I see some of the research that goes into this, I mean, sometimes it's research, and then sometimes it's just luck. Right? You're picking the right teams and whatever it is. Yeah, I mean, it's bracket season, baby. It's bracket season, and mine is busted. So. But some of the games tonight, Alabama came away with a W against Michigan. I think Michigan is the biggest threat posed to Arizona. I think it's hard for me to say that they will beat Arizona. Again, I picked Arizona to win it all. But Michigan has a lot of problems over there, man. I mean, Lendenberg, they're big. I mean, he's a problem. He already has multiple highlights here in the tournament. So they're a deep team. He had 23 points tonight in the Sweet 16 against Alabama, and they got by Alabama pretty easily. They won by 13. So I think Michigan is probably the biggest threat that's being posed outside of Duke, but Duke is also hurt. They're missing one of their best players. They're missing their best guard. So he's out. So it's going to be tough for them to really win it all. And they did beat St. John's today. Duke did. And I'm sure, I haven't seen the numbers, but Cam Boozer, I'm sure, had a very, very good game. I'm looking at the numbers. So, yeah, Cam Boozer, 22 points, 7 of 16 from the field, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. So Cam Boozer did his thing. And they beat St. John's, who's had a very, very good run so far. Rick Pitino, obviously one of the best head coaches, not only right now in college basketball, but of all time in college basketball. So they put up a good fight against Duke. Ultimately, came short. UConn is up by 15 right now, 21-6 on Michigan State. So UConn, obviously a blue blood in college basketball. They're always in that conversation to win it all. Michigan State, who's been good for the past few years. Jeremy Fears Jr. is on that team, who's played very well all season long. One of the best guards.
Brother.
Yeah. Same thing. I mean, he's just both of them high energy. Like nobody's going to outplay them. Nobody's going to work harder than they will. And so that's but they're struggling right now. Jeremy Fears has 2 of their 6 points. And then UConn is doing their thing, man.
Hold it down for the Northeast, UConn, man. The town is rooting for y'all.
I guess that's okay. I guess New Mexico or Cal or one of those schools aren't in it. So I can't really support them, but Arizona's in it. So hey, I'll take it.
My mom's graduated from the U of A, so
Did she?
Them too. Okay, I met Jason Garner. I met what's his name? I didn't meet Richard Jefferson, but I can't remember his name. What was I think he played for the Warriors and the Suns, maybe for a little stint. Defensive guy, 3-and-D.
It's on
the P. Dark skin dude. I think he played.
No, did Quincy Pondexter go to?
No.
U of A? No. Oh man, I don't know.
Yeah.
You mentioned Richard Jefferson. Say it again.
I met a few guys. I don't know if you remember Jason Garner, point guard.
Not off the top of my head.
I think he came right after Emma Stoudemire left.
Oh, really? Okay. I did not know that. Did he play in the league, Jason Gardner?
Michael Peters? No, he never made it to the league.
No. Okay. You mentioned Richard Jefferson. I did have the pleasure of meeting Richard Jefferson. That was really when he got inducted to the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame. I got to meet him and talk to him for a little bit. So that was really cool.
Oh, he's a coach. think he's a coach out here now. North Central.
Jason Gardner?
Yeah, North Central.
Oh, wow. Is he from out here? Or did he just go to U of A?
It says that he. Yeah.
Let's see. But yeah, I the way that they're playing right now, U of A, I don't see anybody beating them. I think they're the most well-rounded team. Tone, they're not a team that takes a lot of threes. They're efficient, but they don't take a lot of them. They're a downhill, get to the basket type of team. They got a bunch of guys who can do that. They have Cole Pete, obviously. Brayden Burries is very good at getting downhill and getting to the basket. Owaka, the Big 12 Sixth Man of the Year, and of course Jaden Bradley, who might be their best player on that team. So very, very good basketball team, and Tommy Lloyd is doing a wonderful job with them. Even amidst all the rumors of him going to North Carolina and doing all and him being one of the favorites, they went into San Jose yesterday and handled business with Houston. I mean, not with Houston, and with Arkansas. So they it's going to be hard for me to say that anybody's going to beat them, at least as of right now. So very, very excited for the rest of the tournament. The Final Four is this week. No, the Elite Eight is this weekend, and then the Final Four is next week. So very, very much looking forward to that. Okay, Tone.
Wish they were here. That would have been something fun to go to.
Yeah, well, the women's are. The women's Final Four is here. Yeah. So that, cool. Yeah, that's another thing that I'm kind of it's gonna be packed, but it's gonna be fun. So that is the madness going on. Tone, let's move to the pros for a few minutes. The NBA approved expansion for cities like Seattle and Las Vegas. A vote will be put up this summer, I believe, and a bid will also be put up. So somebody will be able to buy these teams and take control of these teams, to take ownership of these teams. Tony, you look at these two cities specifically. I mean, Seattle obviously probably should have never lost their team to begin with. And now, thankfully, they're getting another opportunity to have an NBA team. And then Las Vegas, they're getting a team for the first time. They have the Aces, who have been ridiculously successful. They have the best WNBA player of all time on their team, and she's a four-time, MVP, four-time champion, and all this stuff. Is this a good idea for the league? Is this good for the league? Obviously, they're at 30 teams right now. This would take them to 32. Is this a good idea for the league to expand the league like this and put cities in Seattle and Las Vegas?
I think so. I think it gives like you said, it gives Seattle somewhere to cheer again. And we know there's so many players that speak about how that fan base was when that organization was there. And like you said, Vegas has the Aces, and they support that team like no other right now. So I could only imagine what they're going to do for an NBA team, especially if they're good. I'm really interested in what they're going to call these teams. Like, are they going to give the Supersonics, the Seattle team, the Supersonics name back? I'm interested in that. Or is that owned by Oklahoma now because they've worn jerseys? I'm pretty sure they've worn Sonics jerseys since they've moved. Like throwback jerseys and stuff like that. So I'm interested. And yeah, it'd be crazy if they called the Vegas team like the Mob or Mafia. Or
I would love that. I would love that. I'd be scared, but I would love it.
And that's why it'd be an intimidation factor, right?
Yeah. They'd immediately start the game with Hall of Fame Intimidator badge, being called the Mafia. I mean, immediately. I mean, when I think of that, I think of one of two things. I think of old suits with no jacket and the vest and Tommy guns, or shirts off, tattoos all over the place, and Dracos.
Could you imagine like the coaches' outfits, and that they only wore like suits and
they got the little fedoras.
Play the role, baby. Play the role.
I think this is good for the league, but I think Tony, you and I both know at the end of the day, this is a money move. This is a money move, and as much as Seattle loves their teams, I will say I'm so happy for Seattle. I'm so happy for Seattle for them to be getting a professional basketball team back over there because they love their sports down there. They love their sports in Seattle, Washington. They love their Mariners, of course, the Seahawks who just won the Super Bowl. They love their Seahawks. They love their Seattle Kraken, the hockey team. And I think this is a very good opportunity for them to bring back their Seattle NBA team. Now, to your point, Tone, whether they call them the Supersonics, whether they call them something else, I think obviously that's what they want. They want them to be the Supersonics again. That's what they had. That's what they loved. And they want to go back to that. I'm not sure. I'm with you, Tone. I don't know if the Thunder actually own that name. So I don't know if they'd be able to use it. But I think just the fact that they will have an NBA team once again in Seattle, I think will be enough for them just because of how much they've missed it and how much they loved that team before they actually moved and picked up and moved to Oklahoma City. So
I think it's just going to be dope to see some of the players that are not getting as much playing time right now. You know, that they both of those organizations get to pick a couple players. I believe you get to keep eight players that you get to lock down, and then those organizations get to pick out of the hat. And so it'll be interesting to see some players that don't get a lot of tick right now get some tick and start something fresh and new. Like they're going to break records that Las Vegas has never had a team before. So if you go there and you score 40, you've now set an NBA franchise record in Vegas. And you know, it's gonna be cool, man.
And the other thing is to that, you know, you mentioned the expansion draft. I was thinking about it the other day. Like, obviously, you know, I'm a Suns fan. And so I think the rules are you get to keep 8 players like you mentioned, but I think one of the other rules is you cannot keep any player who is on an expiring contract. So, like, you know, if I'm looking at the Suns, okay, well, I'm not sure. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I didn't know that part.
So yeah, you cannot keep anybody who's on an expiring contract. So like players like Colin Gillespie and Jordan Goodwin, and
somebody's got to get signed in the next year.
Man, so an extension has to be signed because I was thinking about it. Obviously, you're keeping Devin Booker, right? You're keeping Malawat, you're keeping Fleming. Those are your 3 guys. And then who after that? Dylan Brooks.
You're not keeping the other DB?
Yeah. Dylan Brooks are probably on that list. Jalen Green, maybe you keep. I mean, you probably keep him because he does have a few years left on his deal, and you could trade him if you really wanted to get off of him instead of letting him go for nothing.
Is that what happens? If you put him on that list, you get nothing back. You don't get that money.
They get to draft him. They get to draft him. I mean, you know, for your boys, for the Celtics, I mean, obviously Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, right? That you start there.
I don't think Hugo going anywhere.
No, Hugo staying
is like the future piece that we are going to hold on to, kind of like we've been holding on to Jordan Walsh. I think that Hugo is the guy. I like Garza, and I'd say maybe Peyton, but yeah,
maybe really.
Well, again,
because I mean, you got to throw Derek White in there, right?
Yeah, definitely do White. But Peyton, we got him. Yeah, I would have to say we got to keep Peyton because we got him on a steal contract, and so if you let him go, now he's, you know, like we could trade him for right now. We would have wanted to trade Peyton right now. Lord knows what people would be offering for Peyton because I mean he's coming off the bench averaging a dub.
Yeah. It's tough. And you know, as an NBA franchise, those are the decisions you'd have to go by. And obviously the owners thought that this would be a good idea. And, you know, once, like I said, it's more money in this. So when owners hear money, they hear whatever money goes, I want more money. And so they agreed to it. So that's the NBA expansion. That vote will go to I think that will be bid in the summer in the off season. So that'll be interesting to see. That'll be interesting.
2029.
Will it be 2029?
I think so. Because I'm like, how's Braun gonna own the Vegas team if he's still playing? You know
So there you go.
That's
See, there-
that's one of them contracts, man. Braun's gonna own that team. Dude.
Hey, you heard about Brady coming back, right?
Yeah, after that little league, that little flag
Little
football league. Hey, boy had a night that no one else had. He had more touchdowns, less interceptions, more yards. I'm like, damn, Tommy not gonna quit, huh?
Oh yeah. And he told him he said the other day he was like, oh yeah, I was thinking about coming back last year, but the NFL they kind of gave me a big old thumbs down on that one because how you go own a football team and come back?
Commentator, yeah, and that's the other thing is how's he gonna own the Vegas? Because I'm sure that was in one of the contracts. I'm sure it was. They were like, Tommy, we're gonna give you this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, Alec Thomas just hit a double and an RBI double. That is. Oh, nice. Good base running, you stupid idiots. All right. Well, we got one run. But yeah, good news is D-backs are up 1-0, and Alec Thomas, great hit, but of course got sold. Okay. The story that I really wanted to get your opinion, and we've talked about it multiple times this season, but now it's starting to slowly look like there is going to be a divorce that is coming up here with Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies shut down Ja Morant for the rest of the season with his elbow injury. They don't want to risk anything. It's not healing as fast as they thought it would. And they told him, hey, you know what? Take a seat. We only got 10 games left. We're not exactly competing for anything anymore. Go ahead, shut it down for the rest of the season. Tone, we were talking about the trade rumors before the season, during the season, excuse me. And the fact that Ja Morant and the Grizzlies weren't exactly getting along too well. And now Ja Morant is done for the season. Has Ja Morant played his last game with the Grizzlies? Obviously, he won't play again this season. Going into this offseason, has Ja Morant, is he done? Is he done in Memphis?
If I was an owner, he would be. If I was the owner of the Memphis Grizzlies, he would be. I can't see why you would keep him. There's been too much turmoil for him and the organization. It just hasn't been a happy marriage of late, I should say. There's only one way that I could foresee it not happening, and that's if they could somehow peel Zion away from the Pelicans. Because I think if you match those two up, it just creates so much entertainment that regardless if they're winning 50 games or not, people are going to tune in. But the West is so dominant right now. The top 4 or 5 teams, I'd say the top 4 we could argue are contending. The top 4 teams in the West. And then you got the other guys who are capable with an injury here, an injury there, and they could slide and, and make a good run. And so the Memphis Grizzlies are far from that conversation. I mean, far. I think the Utah Jazz are going to be in that conversation somehow next year. And Memphis will not be able to beat Utah or several other teams who are going to be able to contend. I just don't know what they would do. And like, if you're sitting him down now, that means you want to see the young guys get going, get some type of continuity, and I don't see why they wouldn't try to just start growing now. But with all that being said, you've said this on some of the other pods, is where is his value? He has not played well this year, and he's had 2 injuries. Now, they're not significant injuries, but they sat him down for a little while. Where is his value? And it's unfortunate that Memphis lost Bane, or gave away Bane, should I say, and then lost Triple J. I just don't know what they have to look forward to if they hold on to him and trade him, because I don't see a piece that fits growing some of the young guys as well as being able to contend and then getting significant value back for Ja. I just don't see it. And so they're almost in like a lose-lose, which stinks because you had that that era of Mike Conley and Zach Randolph and TA, the Grindhouse. And although they weren't winning, they had that core fan base that loved to go watch those guys. And they had Ja and Bane and Triple J, and then they just lose all three of them, and they don't have anything to show. Like like literally like nothing to show. And it's gonna be nasty to see that team just fall out of contention, which I think some of us thought, they would honestly be where kind of like Minnesota is right now.
Yep.
And then, yeah, that core fan base, like, what are they gonna have to watch? It's kind of stinks, man.
And it's insane to see where they are now compared to where they were 3 years ago when they were the number 2 seed in the West. And what did Ja Morant say? He said, "I'm fine in the West." Remember when he said that? Well, I guess, hey, Ja Morant, can I talk to you over here for a second? You know what I'm saying? I, I I think it's time for a separation between the two. And I think it's just best for both of them because you mentioned, Tone, this Grizzlies team, what future do they have? You know what I'm saying? And they got a bunch of picks for Desmond Bane. They got a bunch of picks for Jaren Jackson. How much longer are you willing to wait with Ja Morant and hope that he becomes the superstar that he wants to be? And, Tony mentioned his value. I don't know what his value is right now, especially because of how much he's been hurt over the past few years. He's had 2 very injury-plagued seasons over the past 2 years, Tone. And what is Ja Morant known for? His athleticism. If he doesn't have his athleticism, I don't know how good of a basketball player Ja Morant is. I don't. And because of that, he's still young. He's still in his mid-20s, I believe. Go get to what you can for him right now and start over. Start over if you're the Memphis Grizzlies. You just need to wipe the slate clean. Ja Morant, we appreciate you. You gave us a lot of moments, a lot of highlights. Go do that for somebody else now. Because, one, as you know, Tone, there's been problems between Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies organization, both on and off the court. He's done some really dumb stuff. And I think it's time for a separation. I think it's time for Ja Morant to get a change of scenery and a new opportunity. Where that opportunity is, I mean, maybe that can be a discussion right now, because if there is a separation between Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies, if the Memphis Grizzlies did decide, hey, you know what? We don't really want you anymore. Ja, we don't really want you anymore. We kind of want to restart. Excuse me. We have Cedric Coward. We have Zach Edey. We have some young pieces and a bunch of picks. And guess what? If we trade you, we get a bunch more picks after that. So, I mean, if Ja Morant and the Grizzlies do decide to separate this season, Tone, is there a destination you think Ja Morant could go to and fit in and be as productive as he's been with the Memphis Grizzlies over the tenure of his career?
I'd like to say it can be as productive, but that I feel like that's determined on his health. Honestly, this guy was averaging 25 points, eight assists. But I think he, like you said, he relies a lot on his athleticism. So it'll be interesting. He hasn't really improved on that 3-point shot consistently. He's had scattered games, but I really don't know if there's a team in the West that he can go to, if I'm honest. I look around, and there's been times when I thought that he could possibly go to Minnesota. I don't know if I like that matchup, or that combination of AE and Ja. To me, it's just that they'd be heavily undersized at the 1 and the 2 spot. If I'm being completely honest, I'd say send him to Miami or New York. Now, New York is kind of crazy because they have a team that we thought was going to compete. Like, they made it to the conference finals last year. But if we're using the eye test right now, something's not working. Something is not working. And the Knicks kind of utilized Jalen Brunson's pops to formulate a nice contract to get Jalen Brunson there and then get a couple of his friends there. And
Yep.
I don't know if he's the player you want to keep. Obviously, I feel like he's the second best player, if not the. I don't know. You can go back and forth, but I don't think he's been as consistent as he was last year. And I don't know if that's just on him. Maybe they had expectations for other people to fulfill certain spaces and gaps, and he's had to, honestly keep the weight on his shoulders. But I don't know if Jalen Brunson is the guy you keep. And again, with the East getting a little bit better, who knows? They might want to shake it up as well. And I just feel like the New York Knicks is one of those teams where if you get, let's say, a young D Rose, man, it's just the Garden's going crazy on a nightly, nightly basis. And if you got Ja and he's still athletic, woo-wee, is that a story on the Knicks front page every day? Every single day. They would push Ja. And again, he's got sorry to go off of basketball. He's got one of the hottest sneakers in the sneaker game right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that Ja sneaker is, and they're pushing him tough on Nike. And so I'm like, if you happen to get that whole kind of what do I want to call it? Matchup, whatever, mixed match, mush up there, combination.
There it is. There, we found it.
Man, that's beauty right there. You got Ja's athleticism, you got the hot sneakers that the Nike's pushing, and then you got just the New York swag or whatever that they're gonna influence the NBA. It's just I'm gonna be pissed off because I'm from Boston, but hey, and because I don't know if he even mixes well with Eric Spoelstra in Miami. Honestly, how you think?
I don't think Ja does well with authority. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think if somebody like somebody like Eric Spoelstra comes up to him, Ja, you need to play defense. You need to be here and there. He's gonna look at him. He's like, I made 55. Yeah. Hey, what? That is a perfect timing. He said, I make $50 million a year. Who you talking? You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. Like, Ja Morant he's one of those guys. Again, I've never met Ja Morant. This is all assumption. This is all, just guessing. And but to me, he strikes me as a guy that, like, when when your OGs they try to give you wisdom, right? They try to, hey, you know what? I made this mistake. I don't want you to make this mistake. You should do this, and that. He's the one that says, you're old. What do I listening to? Like he's one of those, like, that's what he kind of strikes me as. So I don't think he does very well with authority. And now, again, I do want to specify there is a very, very, very thick line between authority and disrespect, because you can tell somebody what to do without being disrespectful. And again, as far as I know, I don't think anybody's ever disrespected Ja Morant, whether it was Taylor Jenkins or whether it was whoever their coach is right now. And I think he needs to go somewhere where because there has to be a lot of structure. I mean, there has to be major structure, because there has to be a certain level of organization that he has to follow if he really wants to win a championship. I'd say San Antonio, but Tone, they're pretty locked in at point guard. They're pretty locked in down there. They got.
I don't honestly right now. I don't know if he's better than Stephon Castle. He's definitely not better than De'Aaron Fox.
It's hard to argue. And I remember, I mean, to say that 2 years ago, Tone, and you'd be looked at and you'd be tarred and feathered. You know what I mean? To say De'Aaron Fox was better than Ja Morant. And now that we're saying that, again, I bring up his value. If you do want to trade him, how much is somebody going to be willing to give up for him? Because could this turn into I know it's a different sport and things are kind of done differently. But could this turn into a Kyler Murray situation? Could this turn into a Brandon Ayuk situation in which, all right, well, we don't want you anymore. You don't want to be here anymore. Apparently, nobody else wants to give up anything for you. We're just going to cut you. And at that point in time, okay, Ja Morant is a free agent.
Somebody just came in. Ooh, you know what he can do?
As long as you don't say the team that I'm thinking of,
We're good. Could go, and I would hate this too. You could go to the Milwaukee Bucks.
That was one of the destinations I was thinking. I was afraid you were going to say the Phoenix Suns, and I was probably going to jump out my window.
Nah, I don't think Devin Booker will want to play with Ja.
No.
Although I do think Ja's likely still better than Jalen Green. I would want to say that. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I would want to.
Like, that's a scary. And the thing is, Tone, he might be better than Jalen Green right now, right? He might just, if Cattell Marte to the moon, Cattell Marte, sorry, he might be better than Jalen Green, absolutely. But who would you rather have on your team right now?
Oh, I mean, one of them's playing and one of them's not. So
you know what I'm saying? And Jalen Green, it's not like, they,
how many games last year?
Huh?
Played how many games last year?
82.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about in the last 2 seasons, he's played over 100 and maybe 20 games, and Ja's played 35 games.
Like, before this season, Jalen Green missed 6 games in his entire career. This is year 5 for Jalen Green. He missed 6 games after 4 years of his career. Can't say the same for Ja Morant. And again, I don't want to just put this injury label on somebody, but it's hard not to.
And some of those games were missed when he was healthy.
When he suspended, Jalen Green's never been suspended, especially for something he's done off the court. Now, again, the people he hangs around with are a little older and more mature than him, so he kind of has a good example. You know what I'm saying, Tone? He kind of has. There's somebody telling him, "Hey, don't do that, or else you're going to get a spank." Well, I don't know what they're saying behind closed doors, but that's none of my business. But that's tough right now. I mean, Ja Morant, the Bucks would be interesting. I think it would still be almost like a Damian Lillard situation, although Damian Lillard obviously is better than Ja Morant. Ja Morant is younger and has a lot more potential. Maybe you send Ja Morant to a team that's looking to also rebuild. You know what I'm saying? I know Ja Morant probably doesn't want to go from one rebuilding organization to another, but at the end of the day, it is a different organization.
Send them to the Brooklyn Nets.
The Nets, they got a lot of young pieces. Now, the Nets would probably have to give up a few picks, but I'm sure they wouldn't mind that too much. You have teams like Trailblazers, but they have Scoot Henderson over there. Do you want another guard? It gets tough. It gets tough after a while. Obviously not Chicago.
Anybody pushes all their cards for Ja Ja really would have to move the needle to go to the Trailblazers. Like, again, you're not going to contend. So why would you go after Ja? You know what I'm saying? To spend all that money on Ja and you're not going to contend to be kind of crazy.
I'm going to throw a team out there. I want to see I want to get your thoughts, Tom. The Toronto Raptors.
I like it because that's a similar to me. They remind me of the Knicks. Like they have certain players, and then they have certain 3-and-D players. And Ja would bring a lot more energy. He would be able to get out on the break to feed those guys, run it. Yeah, that would be. I like that. I like that.
I want to throw one more team out there. I'm staying in the East. The Orlando Magic.
I knew it. That's another one. I mean, you got his guy already there. You got Bane already there.
That would be one heck of a starting lineup. Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Franz Wagner, whoever you want to put at the 4, and Goga Batate or who.
I think they got a couple pieces that are of value too. Like I love Anthony Black, man, 6'7" point guard. Like it's
problem. But the thing is, I think you might have to get off of him though, if you're trading for Ja.
That's what I'm saying. Like so, they have value to go get Ja. So that's a win for Orlando, and then you pretty much have a team to where it helps Ja because I don't think Ja's going to be the old Ja. And so you surround him with pieces that are going to, take a little bit of the weight off of him, and he can rely on Paolo. He can rely on the Wagner brothers. He can rely on his homeboy Bane. Yeah, that might actually be the best suited team for a player like Ja. And they're still growing. The East has two or three teams, and then there's the doors open. Who knows?
And the funny thing this year, Tony, is, and I realized this today, the conferences is kind of flipped. Like, you would say the better teams are in the Western Conference, but the Western Conference is very top heavy. The Eastern Conference is the one that's deep. I mean, you got 10, 11 teams, 4 or 5 games over 500.
The Hornets, the Toronto Raptors, like you said. Like, yeah, there's a couple teams in there that are the Heat. You got a couple teams that could mix it up when they get a piece or two. That's why, to me, it was kind of weird that they held on to Ja this long, because there's so many draft picks for this year. And I'm like, if you shake Ja and you get that top, but maybe they're waiting until the draft. Maybe they're waiting until the draft to make a move and go, here you go, here's Ja. We want AJ. Like, who knows?
Yeah. And so it's going to be interesting to see what the Memphis Grizzlies do with Ja. Obviously, the former number 2 overall pick, who's had some success there, but also has had his very, very dull moments. And I think it's time for a mutual separation between the two, Tone. I don't know. I think Ja Morant has reached his peak with the Memphis Grizzlies, and I think the Memphis Grizzlies have reached their peak with Ja Morant. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that situation. Tone, let's get to another conversation that I didn't think was going to be this close coming into this season, but has gotten a lot closer throughout the season as the season has gone on. The NBA Rookie of the Year. Tone, coming into this year, if you would have asked 100 people, maybe 97 of them would have said Cooper Flag is going to be the Rookie of the Year. That's not even close. Why would I choose anybody else coming out of this draft? Not to say that this draft is good, but to say that Cooper Flag is that generational, that good. And there's going to be a very, very close race for that Rookie of the Year award, because his teammate, Tone, Con Knipple, has done an absolutely fantastic job in Charlotte with the Hornets. And now the Hornets are making a run. They're going to be in the play-in this year, and who knows, they might make it out of the play-in and actually play in a playoff series. And, if they get the Pistons without Cade Cunningham, maybe they can beat them. They're not beating the Celtics, I'll tell you that much, so they better hope they get the Pistons. But not to veer too far off topic, Rookie of the Year. I think there's 3 guys in contention for this race. I think it's Cooper Flag, I think it's Con Knipple, and I think it's VG Edgecombe. Out of those 3 guys right now, Tone, who is leading that conversation for you?
For me, I'd have to say, it's tough, but I'd have to say Con. Although Cooper has had his game is well rounded right now. He has adjusted to playing point guard. He's playing a lot more off guard than he was in earlier parts of the season. But I think Jason Kidd did that for a reason, for him to adapt, for him to learn at seeing certain double teams, for him to be able to run the floor off a rebound, for him to be able to create. And so I think Jason Kidd was using that for development. But he's been much more consistent, just barely prior to the All-Star break and after the All-Star break. However, their numbers are awfully close, like awfully close. And I feel like the difference is that Con Knipple is playing winning basketball. And for him to be shooting and just scoring the way he is, surrounded by other pieces who are mature, and their scores. Like LaMelo is a bucket. Brandon Miller is a bucket. And he's averaging a dub. Con Knipple is average, and he's close to what? A 90-50-40 year?
Yeah, 49% from the field, 44% from 3, and 86% from the free throw line.
As a rookie. And what they've been able to accomplish the last 30 games is just amazing. And I mean, you could attribute a lot of that to what he brings to the table. he's played really well off the ball, helping LaMelo score. And he plays a little bit of defense too. But I mean, like that jumper is crazy. You have to know where he's at on the floor. You cannot leave him open, which enables LaMelo to do his thing. Like you can't double. If you double, you got to bring one of them power forwards over. But yeah, it's tough. I will say it's still a little bit of a race. Who knows if Cooper were to go off for 50 or 60 in these last couple, he might get somebody to sway his way. But I just think that Khan is playing winning basketball, and when you're playing the way he's playing, and you're a part of a winning system, it's valuable. It brings value, and as a rookie, I think he's got my. I wish Edgecombe was playing a little bit better. It's crazy to me because he's had the space. He's had players in and out of the lineup. Wemby hasn't been there, and I feel like the expectations were put on him after he went off on the Celtics game 1. People were like watching, like, oh yeah, I call him AE Junior. His game reminds me of Anthony Edwards. But he hasn't been as consistent, so he's probably in the third place. But Cooper and Conman is what I like to call them. They're close 1 and 2, and I've got Conman ahead.
And Tone, I'm with you. The right answer right now to me is Concanipple. When you look at what he's been able to do with the Hornets, I mean, the Hornets were looked at as the joke of the NBA, or one of the jokes of the NBA coming into this season. And you look at the run that they've had since the beginning of February, really. They have been on a run. They've been one of the best teams, not only in the Eastern Conference, but in the NBA. And Concanipple has a huge part in that. I mean, you mentioned he's averaging 20 points. He's shooting 49% from the field. He's shooting 44% from 3 and 87% from the free throw line as a rookie. And
real quick, I just want to add that he broke the record.
Yeah, for most threes ever by a rookie. And he broke it like 60 games into the season. And I mean, this guy is such he's so fun to watch. And you mentioned he has one of the best jump shots in the league. And he's, the stat that stands out to me the most, Tone, as a top overall pick, he's played every single game of the season. Tone, you know what the best ability is?
Availability.
And guess what he's been? Available. He's been available, and when he is available, he's been fantastic. And because of that, he's my rookie of the year so far. As great as Cooper Flagg has been, as I don't know, I wouldn't say great because VJ Edgecombe, he's had some great moments, but as good as VJ Edgecombe has been this season, Concanipple, I think, has stood out the most in terms of the NBA rookies. And because of that, I think Concanipple wins the rookie of the year. And not to say that Concanipple is going to be the best rookie of this class or the best player of this class, because I think, Cooper Flagg will be the best player in this class. I think VJ Edgecombe will be really, 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 really good. Concanipple will also be very, very good. I don't know if he will be on the level of those guys when it's all said and done for all three of their careers. Then there's some other players in this draft that have, that can make a name for themselves. And obviously, you have your Derek Queens, you have your Colin Murray Boyles, you have who's the kid, Igor Demine in Brooklyn. I mean, he's also a good player. Kaman Malawach. You have see, there you go. When was he drafted? When was Hugo drafted? No, in the first round?
No, doesn't matter.
Just making sure. Just double checking. No, Hugo is going to be a very good player. But Concanipple this year deserves the rookie of the year because of what he's been able to do with the Hornets. I don't see. I mean, again, I don't see anybody else having a better year right now out of this rookie class than Concanipple, Tom.
Another thing I love about him is he's humble. Like, you don't see him celebrating after he gets 4 threes in a row.
No, he's back on defense.
Back on defense.
Right back on defense.
Like he expected to be as good.
Yeah. And that's the thing. He looks like he's been in the league for multiple years.
Doesn't look like it.
Doesn't look like a rookie. And he's not playing it like it either. And because of that, again, he looks like, I mean, even the role he played at Duke, Tone, like this is the role that he played at Duke. He was one of the best shooters in the country. And he's showing why he went, 5 or 6 overall in the draft. And he's one of the best shooters in the NBA as a rookie. I
said this to Vedron, and you remember Vedron?
Yeah.
Suns game. I said that I think he's going to change the way certain teams draft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, is there a flaw in his game? Again, he's not the greatest defender in the world. He's not an elite defender. He can put the ball on the ground at a decent level. But those are the guys that you look to draft because, okay, what do they do well? Okay, they shoot the ball and they play defense and they know where to shoot the ball and they know how to shoot the ball. Okay, that's a good start. We could build around that. And that's what the Hornets have done. Again, you already have LaMelo, you have Brandon Miller, you have Miles Bridges. And then you put a shooter like Concanibal around those guys who all can go score the basketball. And so when those guys get doubled, oh, wait, hold on. We're leaving Concanibal open.
Yeah, it takes a lot of pressure off of those other guys. I mean, you watch Brandon Miller has become a better basketball player this season.
Yes, he's taken a big jump, Tone. A big jump. He's healthy, finally, for the most part. Again, LaMelo has been playing well. Like, we got him though. I'm just saying. We got him by about 15. After they won like 10 in a row.
Yeah.
Listen, we not playing so hot right now. We got the Jazz tomorrow. If we lose, Tone, I'm a Celtics fan full time. We lose tomorrow.
See who we got just the other day.
Who y'all got? Oh, y'all did get OKC.
The champs.
I did get OKC. You know what? I'm glad. You know what? That's a perfect segue into our next conversation, Tone. I'm glad you brought that up. Speaking of the Oklahoma City Thunder, Tone, there has been a phrase that has been thrown around for past, what would you say, Tone? 5 years, 6 years?
At least I feel like it's been amplified, but I feel like the term was floating, but it's been amplified.
The term that we are talking about is foul baiter. Okay. And I thought, Tone, especially, I thought this would be a great conversation with you just because of your knowledge of the game and how much basketball you've watched. And I really, I'm intrigued to get your opinion on this because, and you see, the line there. What is the definition of a foul baiter? And, obviously people say, a foul baiter, SGA or Jalen Brunson. They'll start naming a bunch of players that they believe are foul baiters. But what makes them a foul baiter? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the definition of somebody who baits people into fouling? So, Tone, I'll just ask you straight up. When you hear the term foul baiter, obviously a lot of people think of players. But what makes these players a foul baiter?
So the thing for me, and I like how you formatted the question. The definition of a foul baiter is someone who's looking to get fouled consistently, to me, because they are not capable of scoring the basketball the way they would like to. And so I feel like at times, guys like you just spoke to, Brunson, SGA, James Harden used to do it a lot. And I'm being honest, I feel like JB has put this entered this into his bag.
Yeah.
Because if you're a basketball enthusiast, you know that this is a skill set. There are guys who would love to be foul baiters, but they don't know how to utilize it. They don't have the footwork. They don't have the skill set to bait you into fouling them. You do a pump fake and they look at you and go, okay. You just have the skill set. You have to have a unique skill set to bait someone into jumping, and so then you get into their space, into their circle, and they have to they try to stop you from scoring. Some guys will stand back and let you shoot the ball. Like Tony Allen would have been, he would have struggled trying to be a foul baiter, and that's no shot at the TA. TA was a grade A++ defender, but he wasn't a phenomenal scorer in the NBA setting. I'm sure if you put him in the rec center, you're gonna give everybody 50. But that wasn't his skill set. And I I feel like even myself, I've been inconsistent with how I feel about foul baiting. And the person who I contribute a lot of this to, now that I think about it, is Chris Paul. He had a unique skill set where he would either do the hook, like he's got it on one side and he sees you sticking your hand into the pocket, and he would hook over like he's gonna shoot, and exactly. And now he's at the free throw line. And there'd be several times when he would do it. One would be under the 2 minutes when you've already fouled, so now he's directly to the free throw line. If you've got 4 fouls and the 5th one is going to put him at the free throw line and put your team over the limit, or if he just needs a foul. Like, there were several times, but he was such a smart and intellectual of the game. It's like, how are you not approving that he does this, especially if you're a fan of the game? If this is your first time watching it, you're like, man, I want to see him score the basketball. And I understand where you're coming from, but if you know how to play the game and utilizing certain rules to your advantage, I look at it like this. What's it called? The tush push?
Yep.
There's several teams or organizations in football that hate it. But the teams that know how to utilize it and have success with it, they love it.
They don't have a problem with it. Yep.
No problems. And I'm sure those fans, when it's 3rd and 1, they're like, oh yeah, do the tush push. Do the tush push, you know what I'm saying? do it, run that play. And it's the same thing for this. Like, there are times when SGA is coming down in the 4th quarter under 2 minutes, and that's why I had to look back and go, oh, this is probably from Chris Paul. When you look at the players that he's played with, SGA being one of them, he probably learned this directly from Chris Paul.
Yeah.
And SGA uses it at his advantage. He's got phenomenal footwork. When I look at the Paul Pierces, the Kobe Bryants, the Joe Johnsons, the Chris Pauls, he's right up there with those guys. The Steve Nash. Like, those guys have phenomenal footwork, and he's there. But he also has a keen ability to shoot the midi. He can get to the basket. He can shoot the 3-pointer. He's getting better every season. And so when you add all of those things into the melting pot, it's so easy for him to bait someone into fouling him. And he just utilizes it. And the crazy thing is, he's not shooting as many free throws as James Harden was. But James Harden had great success with it as well. And I attribute it now. Like, and SGA is not my favorite player. He's one of my favorite players in the league. But I attribute it to success and a player's ability. We had the conversation on 2 pods ago about the pure score. And if you have the ability to get to the free throw line and make them, this is your advantage, man.
I'll tell you, I got one word. One word to define foul baiting, Tom. That word is manipulation. The reason that's the word I use is because you have to have the ability to not manipulate the refs, but manipulate your defender. Because if you're able to manipulate your defender into thinking you're going to shoot a jump shot, or if you're able to manipulate your defender to thinking that you're not going to shoot, and so once they put their arm across you, then you get the foul call. If you're able to do that, like you said, Tone, you have a certain skill set that allows you to do that, because it is a foul. It is a foul. Now, people may not like it because of how they're getting to that foul, but at the end of the day, it is a foul. And there's a certain level of skill you have to have in order to manipulate your defender to foul you. And when I look at SGA, when I look at Jalen Brunson, when I look at guys like that, I'll even throw my guy in there, Devin Booker, because he's had a case of the foul baiting every once in a while. He baits defenders into thinking that he's either going to shoot or that he's not going to shoot. What I mean by that, okay, if you step back and you pump fake, go into him. That's manipulating your defender into thinking you're going to shoot the ball. And guess what, Tone? If they don't jump, what do? Shoot the ball right over him. So you're not giving your defender an opportunity to make the right choice, because whatever choice they make, guess what? A talented offensive player has a counter to the choice that the defender makes. And that's what makes a great offensive player. Now, where the problem lies in foul baiting, the problem lies with the referees. And the reason why I say the problem lies with the referees is because sometimes they expect to be calling a foul. They will already have their whistle in their mouth thinking, okay, SGA is going to get fouled here. I'm going to blow the whistle. The other night, a clip went viral. Tone, I'm sure you saw it. The Derek White foul on SGA.
Didn't
touch him.
Did not touch him.
Didn't touch him. But because of SGA's manipulation and his ability to manipulate the defenders, the refs thought, okay, he's going to get fouled. He gets fouled every time. So I'm going to blow the whistle once he shoots this ball.
Now, real quick, do you think that is what makes people upset? Because he did flail a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
Like, SGA did flail. And why are you flailing if you weren't touched?
Manipulation. Because at that point in time, he's manipulating the referees into thinking that he got hit. And I think that's a great point, Tone. I think that's where people really get upset, is the over dramatics, the acting class, the throwing their arms up and down. Now, am I going to say that, if I'm playing, when I play in organized games with referees, do I do that? I absolutely do that.
LeBron,
you know what I'm saying?
LeBron.
Huh?
LeBron was on the floor. LeBron said,
he wanted to make sure that they weren't looking no more. They still looking over here, Tom? Tom, the referee still looking? Oh, they okay. And that's when he gets it going again. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes if you're able to use it to your benefit, use it to your benefit. Tone, if you see $20 on the floor, you walk in, to your local LA Fitness, or you're walking to the local grocery store, whatever it is, right? You see $20 on the floor. You see the opportunity to pick up the $20. Are you going to pick up the $20?
Yeah, I need that.
Yeah. Okay, so if SGA gets fouled, or if he doesn't get fouled, right? But he understands the referees, and he understands that he gets a lot of those calls. If you see an opportunity, are you not going to take that opportunity to try and go back to the line? And again, is it right? I don't know. You ask 100 people, 50 of them might say yes, 50 of them might say no. So it depends on who you ask. But it's part of the game now, Tone. Like, that is how a lot of people get their points. I mean, for God's sake, Bam Adebayo shot 43 free throws.
In 42 minutes.
In 42 minutes. Again, I'm not saying it's wrong. Go get your points, brother. You know what I'm saying? Go get your 83. Go break your record. But we can't look at things like that and then look down upon SGA for foul baiting. Look down upon Jalen Brunson and Jaylen Brown and Devin Booker and whoever else you want to, Steph Curry has done it at times. And, and LeBron James. Don't look down on them when there's other guys that have done it worse, to a worse extent. Does that make sense, Tom?
Yeah, I agree.
So,
James
again,
Harden is one of the more prolific offensive players I've ever witnessed. And I feel like he was the most egregious foul baiter that we had seen for a while, especially with that skill set. Chris Paul used to do it, but Chris Paul really wasn't known to be a bucket getter. He could get buckets, but he wasn't known to be a bucket getter. James Harden was a certified bucket getter.
Yeah. And
at that point in the NBA's history, he was the most egregious foul baiter. But he averaged 34, 36 points in a season, and
36 points, Tom.
Average, I think he shot like 14, 16 free throws per game.
And I think he has the longest streak of a certain amount of games of 30 points straight, consecutive. And again, if you're good at something, why go away from it?
I was just going to say, those things must tie together. When you got James Harden, who has the longest streak of 30-point games,
yep.
You got SGA, who now has the longest streak of 20-point games.
games.
It sounds like somebody needs to learn something.
2 and 2 is 4, Tone.
Yeah, all the time.
and I'm so glad you brought up Chris Paul, because Chris Paul is the ultimate manipulator. The ultimate manipulator, whether it's the basketball, whether it's the referees, whether it's especially his defender. He's the ultimate manipulator. And again, that's why he's on my Mount Rushmore of favorite players of all time, is because of the way that he controls the basketball game. If he wants to slow down the game, everybody slows down. Everybody slows down. They're in a half-court offense now. They're playing half-court basketball. If he wants to pick up the pace, get the ball out the rim, they're going. They're going. And again, he's a puppet master, Tone. He's a puppet master. And do you know who the 7-foot version of that right now, and even better version of that is?
I mean, Yama.
Close. Nikola Jokic.
Ooh, yeah.
Because guess what? When he wants to pick up the pace is picked up. Now everybody's running. The Nuggets are running. Whoever they're playing is running up and down. When he wants to slow down the pace, when he wants to slow down, all right, you know what? Let's slow down. Let's get our rhythm back. Everybody slows down. That is the greatness. That is the mental game of the sport of basketball, Tone. And there's only so many people that can do that. I don't think SGA has that ability. I think there's maybe 5 guys that have that ability right now. Maybe
SGA has that ability.
I don't think he has that ability, Tom. I think SGA is an elite scorer of the basketball. Elite scorer of the basketball. I don't know if he has the ability to control the pace and control the game of basketball the way that Chris Paul does, the way that Nikola Jokic does, the way that Tyrese Halliburton does.
Well, agree to disagree. I think that he does. Like when I watched him the other night against us, the whole first half, he controlled the game. Like he literally, we couldn't stop him. He was like 8 for 9 at one point and ended the half 9 for 11. But it was like he was getting to his spot. He was pump faking. If we collapsed on him, he was passing out to and like he controlled the offense. And then he was playing pretty good defense as well. But I will say on Jokic, I think I agree. He's probably the head and shoulders above everyone else in the league right now. I don't know. SGA is pretty close. I haven't watched that many OKC games. I feel like I've watched enough, but not that many.
Well, maybe I should specify a little bit more, because in terms of just doing what he wants, because SGA is going to get what he wants. You know what I'm saying? SGA is going to get to his spot, and all you can do is hope he misses. But when I say control the game, I'm talking about like Steve Nash was amazing at it, right? Steve Nash was, okay, you know what? This game is too slow. We're going to play at our pace. 7 seconds or less, Tom. We're going to play at our pace, and I'm going to be the reason why that happens. Nikola Jokic, I mean, he's one of those guys. He'll catch the ball at the top of the key, right? LeBron is one of those guys. LeBron controls the basketball game, especially in his prime, right? He'll have the ball at the top of the key, okay? And you've heard Iman Shumpert tell stories like this. All right, LeBron tells J.R. Smith, cut back door. He tells in front of the defender. If he moves at all, cut back door. Tristan, you come up, set me a screen. As soon as LeBron goes around that screen, guess who's open? J.R. Smith, backdoor cut. No, Jokic is the same way. He can see everything before it happens. Tyrese Halliburton can see everything before it happens. SGA is an elite scorer of the basketball. He will get whatever he wants when he wants it. I just don't think he's on the same level as the Nikola Jokic's, as the Tyrese Halliburton's, because Luka's also close there. I don't think Luka's on that same level, but Jokic is on that level. Tyrese Halliburton, LeBron James, Chris Paul, Steve Nash, Rajon Rondo. Like, those are guys that saw things happen before they happened. And they'll tell you about it before it happens, and then it will happen. If that makes any sense.
No, I understand. I gotta watch some more because I feel like SGA is there. I also feel like Luke is there. So I'm gonna have to do my research. Maybe I haven't watched enough Jokic games. Maybe that's what it is. But I have seen him make some phenomenal passes, man. Like he's got eyes in the back of his head, man.
It's insane. He, like, what he did to the Suns the other night. I was like my jaw was dropped. I was sitting there watching the television. Like this guy's amazing.
Like a 7 foot Luka. That's all. I guess.
Yeah.
When I watch him, he reminds me of a 7 foot Luka.
Yeah, Jokic is. I cannot get over Jokic. Like he's not one of my favorite players, but I just have so much fun watching him play because that's like when I play. Speaking of playing basketball, one of my sorry, I almost cussed. I love this freaking idiot. Look, Jess is in the chat, Tone. Jess is in the chat.
My guy.
That's Big Jess, man. That's my that's my brother. Everybody know. It's funny every time we go to a gym. Hey, yo, where your brother at? Where's your brother at? And so, but speaking of which, playing with Jesse, right? I use a lot of what I see from Jokic, from Chris Paul, from Steve Nash. Like it needs a Tyrese Halliburton. Because again, I'm one of these guys, like, especially when I'm playing with a player like Jesse, and you know how talented Jesse is. For everybody who's watching, again, this is not glazing. This is me being honest. I've told you this before, and I've said this before. Jesse, I've never seen anybody stop Jesse. Jesse will get to the spot he wants to, and you gotta hope he misses, especially down low. And so he's one of those guys that you set up, right? He is the Pascal Siakam to my Tyrese Halliburton. He's the Amari Stoudemire to my Steve Nash. And so I look at ways, okay, to win this game, we need to set up Jesse. And so the way that I look at it, because I don't think SGA, I haven't seen SGA have that ability, right? Maybe SGA doesn't have it going one of these games. He's shooting 2 for 15 from the field. He just cannot buy a bucket.
He was 8 for 24 tonight, or something like that.
8 for 24, right? 8 for 24, and not like this. Okay, you know what? I don't have it going. How can I need to find some way. I need to find some way to get Chet going. Chet, how can I get Chet going? Okay, Chet, you're going to cut back door, right? Alex Caruso is going to come set him a screen, get the mismatch. Once he gets the mismatch, send him a back door, send him to the rim. Yeah, it's like one of those things. You can see the play before it happens. I haven't seen SGA have that ability to set people up like that. And again, see things happen before they actually happen. And again, and you see how passionate I am about, like, I love players who read the floor. Like, when you look at, sometimes people, the average basketball fan doesn't recognize it.
Oh,
but I know you.
I was say I do,
No. I was gonna say the average basketball fan. We're not average basketball. We are nerds. We are losers when it comes. Basketball is our life. And so, Tone, and I know you recognize this. When point guards or whoever's bringing the ball up the floor, they're not just bringing the ball up the floor. They're analyzing the whole entire floor.
Matches, yeah, all that.
Exactly. Where can I get the mismatch? Where can I find this part? Okay, Chet is open in the corner. If he stays there, how can I bring his defender towards me? Like, they're analyzing the entire thing. There's so many different things going on in his brain. And I'm not saying SGA is not really, really good at it, because he is. I just don't think he's on the level of Nikola Jokic and Tyrese Halliburton and LeBron and Chris Paul.
Okay, if that's where you're going, I can see that. I don't think those guys are kind of top tier, but I do think I feel like that's not his. I mean, the guys you named, I'm sorry, but I think he's a better scorer than at least.
He's a better scorer.
90% of those guys you named. And so that's his responsibility. Yeah. But I do think he has the ability to see things before it happen. Yeah, I agree with you if that's what you're saying. He's not as good as those guys. I agree.
One guy I'm glad that he didn't get paired with, because if he did, that would have been a problem. Jason Kidd.
Oh, yeah.
If Jason Kidd would have got his hands on SGA, if he would have got his hands on SGA, oh my goodness, SGA would be in the conversation right now as one of the best point guards of all time.
I mean, I think he is in the conversation, if I'm honest. I feel like he is right now.
Okay, where is he at on that list?
I think he's definitely top 10, arguably top 7.
Okay, real quick. Hold on before I go on to that. Tone, he said, Tone looking like you don't believe. He's like, I don't. So, hey, Tone, you don't know about Jess or what?
No, I love Jesse game. It's just that sometimes he goes into Joel Embiid mode for me, to where he wants to shoot too much. But no, I do the same thing. I'm telling Jesse, yo, come fake the screen, spin off, and it's like I'm
Yeah.
easy buckets. There's easy buckets.
Oh
But,
yeah.
Like I used to tell him all the time, if I do this, that's you know what to do.
Just spin
You know what I'm
around.
saying?
Yeah. As soon as he starts overplaying,
I'm gonna get the basketball right to you, and it's easy
Yep.
buckets.
Easy.
But he likes to work. You know what I'm saying? Jesse wants the basketball. He wants to do his thing, going, he want to do all of that. Like, no, save that for defense. Let's get back. You know what I'm saying? Barbecue chicken.
Hey, and I'll tell Jesse what, but one of the most things that drives me insane with Jesse is he can do it, but sometimes he likes to show out. Like, I'll try and get him the ball on the block, because again, I've never seen anybody. I've seen Jesse go up against 6'7", 6'8" people and them not be able to stop Jesse on the block. Problem is, when Jesse tries to get the ball out on the perimeter, again, he could get to the basket on the perimeter, but he's making it a lot harder for himself. But anyways, okay, I'm gonna throw a few point guards out there before we get out of here. Okay, I'm gonna throw a few point guards out there. And I want to see if you believe that they're better. Who would you rather have all time? Okay. Now the obvious, right? I'm gonna stay away from Magic, Steph. Those two, actually, those are probably the two obvious ones that I'd stay away from. The other ones right? Magic and Steph, two ahead of SGA.
Yeah, I would put him ahead.
Okay. John Stockton.
Would I rather? See, now this is where it gets tricky, because, and I love these conversations, but the surrounding, the complementary pieces, they matter. That's how you develop a team. Me personally, the player that I would want out of the two would be SGA. But as far as pure point guard, I would say John Stockton is the better pure point guard. But
maybe I'll phrase it like this: who's better all time?
Oh, SGA. He took his team this young to win a championship. John Stockton couldn't. They couldn't get past Mike several times. They couldn't get back to Mike several times. Like they had arguably the best duo in the NBA besides Mike and Scotty. They had argued the best duo with Stockton and Malone. You got the guy who had the most assists, the guy who had the most points off pick and roll. And he was top 5 in points. And they couldn't even get back to Mike.
Okay. Big O.
Man.
Oscar Robertson.
This would be a tough one. And now, see, this is where it gets iffy for me, because I like to only have conversations about guys that I've actually watched play an NBA game. But from the highlights that I have watched, from the stats that I've seen, I believe Big O is one of those players who could play right now.
Yeah.
I also think he's a player that could average 25 plus, 10 and 10 right now. When you look at how the NBA is being played. And so, given all of that, I might go Big O. I just, and SGA is a bucket getter, but I ain't seen him have a. Now, do I think that at the end of his career, it will be quote unquote better than Russell Westbrook's? Yes. But I haven't seen him have a year playing better than Russell Westbrook's 30, 10 year.
I'm glad you brought Russell Westbrook up, because that was the next name I was gonna bring up.
I will say that right now, I would rather have Russell. I would.
Okay.
But I think at the end of SGA's career, I will have SGA.
Jason Kidd.
This is tough, man. I love J Kidd. I love what he brought to the table as a point guard. And I love facilitating. I love defenders. Jason Kidd did all of that. But I'm going to have to go with SGA, man.
All right, I got two more. Steve Nash.
That's his godfather? No, that's RJ Barrett. Yeah. Man. Yeah, I'd have to go with SGA, man. But I ain't gonna lie, Steve Nash was unique, man. He was unique. Yeah. He like you said, someone who could manipulate both sides of the floor, and he wasn't even a defender, but the way he was able to defend at such a small, the size dynamic, given he was so much shorter than half of the other point guards in the league. And then, yeah, he owned the floor. Like, 7 seconds. Like, he made plays better everywhere he went. I wish he was a better coach, because then maybe we'd have seen what was going on. My bad.
Yeah, see, there you go. You're going to kick somebody while they down. Well, no, he's not down now, but he was down. He's with the Suns now. He's doing a great job with Colin Gillespie.
Yeah, and Gillespie, I don't know, man. That dude is bright for that guy.
I think so too, man. He's got a clip, but he's about to break the Suns single season franchise 3-point record. So,
which is incredible given the players that you guys have had.
Yeah, and you know what? Real quick, I don't know if you'd be able to name him. Could you name the single season franchise leader for 3-pointers made for the Suns? I know you know who it is. I don't know if you'd be able to name him though.
I'd either say Dan Marley, James Jones, Eddie House. None of them?
Mm-mm.
Surprising to me. Man. Wow. Who we got?
Quentin Richardson.
Oh, Quinn.
He currently the franchise leader for single season 3-pointers made.
He got the clip.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So Colin Gillespie's going to pass. He's 7 threes away from taking over that record with 9 games remaining. I'd be shocked if he didn't pass him.
Yeah, I would be too.
One more name, Tom, and it's the guy we've talked about a few times today, and he's one of my favorite players of all time. CP3, Chris Paul. Who's a better all-time point guard between Chris Paul and SGA?
Man, I will say, like, this is difficult, man, because he's the point guard. Yeah. And I feel like if we were to interview SGA, he'd give a lot of credit to CP3 and his success right now. Yeah. But there's one thing, it's actually 2 things he's got that CP3 doesn't have. One of those is a most valuable player trophy. Yep. The other thing is that shiny gold basketball. Actually, Brian, the Finals MVP as well. So, and yeah, that's tough, man. That's so hard to compare. 19 years? That's how long CP3 played?
19. Yeah,
19 years versus what SGA's on.
Might have been 20.
SGA's on his 9th, 7th, 8th.
No, 7th. I think he's taken in 2019. I think 2019 was his rookie year.
That just makes SGA that much more incredible, man, because he didn't get a starting position until like his 3rd year into the NBA. The success he's had the past 4 or 5 years is just phenomenal. Yeah, I would want to say Chris Paul, but foreshadowing, just seeing where SGA is now and where he's likely headed, I got to take SGA, man.
Yeah. This is year 8 for SGA. Yeah, as much as I love SGA, man, I'm sorry, as much as I love Chris Paul, right now I'd probably take SGA's career over Chris Paul's because of the things I know ring culture and all this other stuff. Now, maybe in 2 weeks, if you ask me, I'll say Chris Paul, but SGA, again, it doesn't change the fact that Chris Paul is, again, one of my all-time favorite NBA players. The way that he controlled the game, the way that he played the game was top tier. But SGA, man, he's just different. He's just different. It is what it is.
This is a new style of point guard. Like,
yeah,
Halliburton, there's very few guys in the league that have that Chris Paul effect, that Steve Nash effect. And these scoring guards, when you look at Luka and you look at Tyrese Maxey, you look at these guys' ability to score the basketball and still make players around them better. SGA is probably the best. I mean, he's won an MVP, he won a championship, and he's been this consistent. It looks like he's going to get MVP again.
Yeah.
How do you pick anybody else ahead of him?
It's tough to. It's really tough to. Again, SGA, he's one or two in terms of the best players in the NBA, the best players in the world. And if you don't have him one or two, I'm not taking your conversation seriously. That's just the way it is. Tone, that was a fantastic episode. Fantastic. Yeah. It's been a while since you and I have done a little duo episode. Shout out GSM. Shout out to Gumball Sports Machine. We are growing every day. We are getting better every day. And we are very, very appreciative of everybody that watches. So whether you watch live or whether you watch after the live or whether you watch any of the the podcast segments that are put out after the live, we very, 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 very much appreciate your support.
Yeah,
with all that being said, sorry, go ahead, Tom.
I was just agreeing. Yeah, man, we appreciate everyone, man. Thank you for watching.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Tom, you absolutely could not have said it better. Thank you all for watching. As I always say, if nobody else is going to tell you, I will tell you. I love you. You matter, and you have a purpose. Strive for happiness, to be grateful for what you do have instead of what you do not. Tone, you could go ahead and do the honors.
Like, comment, subscribe, tell your aunties, sisters, mothers, babies, daddies, little cousins, nephew to holler and watch the show too, man. We appreciate all the love, man. Jump in the comments too, man. We love to get that live interaction, man.
Love the live interaction. Love to go back and forth with the listeners. Definitely, man. If also if you do live in Arizona and you happen to see us, say what's up. Come say hi. Come tell us. Yeah, come say SGA is, horrible, or Devin Booker couldn't, smell Kobe Bryant's jock strap, or Jason Tatum couldn't, pick up some crutches, or whatever it is.
Oh, be careful with those Tatum comments, man.
I'm sorry. That was unnecessary. Oh, that was, that's my bad. That's my bad because, well, you guys will probably get to the finals. I don't know if you win the finals.
Hey, man, JT had his highest scoring game tonight, baby.
No, what'd you say? What'd you say before?
Huh?
What'd you say? Oh, no. I'm not letting you get away from that.
A little more efficient, but
what did he shoot?
Huh?
What did he shoot?
Close to an SGA shot.
What? No, SGA ain't got nothing to do with me. AJ, he don't play for my team or your team. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Hey, he shot 8 for 24. Shout out Kobe.
He was just shouting his boy out. You know what I'm saying?
I think he texted him after the game too. Sources told me. So, thank you all for watching. Like my OG said perfectly, man. If you don't mind hitting that like button, tapping that subscribe button, and following all of our social medias, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, X/Twitter, YouTube, of course, we are active on all of them. Please go ahead, hit that follow button on all of our social medias. We are active, very active on there, as always. But for my dog, my unk, my OG, and the man we like to call the generalizer triple OG Tone, to my left and your right, as he is with us all the time. And for yours truly, Jamal Gumo, a.k.a. Gumball, a.k.a. Mr. Gumo.
Ooh, big dog.
As I always say, it is nice to be important, but it is much, much more important to be nice. We will see you all on Tuesday nights to react to the round of Elite 8 in the madness in the tournament. To react to all.
Shout out my dog Low, man.
Hey, Low couldn't be with us tonight. He's busy. He's running around. He should be with us Tuesday. So look forward to that. We'll be reacting. The NBA regular season is almost coming to a close. We will be previewing the NBA play-in and the NBA playoffs. And I don't know if I've ever been more scared for anything in my life than for the Suns to play in the NBA play-in tournament. So that is going to do it for us tonight. Again, have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. We'll see you all Tuesday night. Holla. Where's the outro?